Hey folks, welcome back to our Final Fantasy VI Pro Challenge playthrough. This is part number 19, almost to 20 parts. Pretty hard to believe, right? So one thing I mentioned at the very end of the last part, we did some power leveling, and clearly, as you can see with the stats, we definitely did. One thing I will point out, well, a couple things. We picked up both of the optional espers from the auction house in Jador. So Golem and Zone Seek, nothing we couldn't really do without. Now, another thing I'm pointing out here, there aren't many espers left to collect, but one of them we actually did get while we were doing the power leveling from Doomgaze. We actually did take him down. We had to. We had no choice, or else the run would have ended. So we took him down. The Bahamut Esper did pop out of his mouth, but for whatever reason, it is not showing there, which kind of sucks because you get the flare magic from him. Nevertheless, we will continue the game without it. It's not a big deal. Alright, so one more thing I want to show you before we continue on with the next part of the video. This is what we did for a good chunk of time to power level a lot of these characters here. We fought in this desert, and we took down two enemies. One of them is the Cactrot, which you see right there, and that will award both 10 magic points apiece and 10,000 GP. The other one that we took down was the Hoover enemy, which is basically a big ugly-looking sandworm. And if you do any physical attacks on it, it will automatically counterattack with a sandstorm. Basically, just hit it with the Vanish and X Zone. It's an easy kill, easy win. So, wanted to point that out real quick. Now, with that out of the way, you can see all the stats and great stuff that we did. We're going to continue on, and we're going to show you. We're actually going to acquire 3 different characters in this part of the challenge. First thing we're going to do, we're going to return to this town right here. Remember what town this is? Yep, this is where we tried to get Terra the first time, right? Well, that would be the town of Mobliz. So, we've already been here twice. I think once. I can't remember, honestly. Anyway, we are back in the town, and we are going to progress the story. We're going to go to this far house over here. There's a dog, there's Dwayne, and Katerin is behind this bookshelf here. Go down here, down some steps. Oh, there's Terra, right? So basically, there's a little backstory going on. We're going to let it play out for just a moment. And essentially, this is a part where we're going to have to fight Fun Baba one final time. Yes, just throwing it out there, because if you remember, he did escape the last time. We didn't actually kill him, so we knew there was always a chance that we'd have to fight him again, and that time is coming right now. So, we'll let this play out for just a second, and then we will prepare for our third and final encounter with Fun Baba, and it sounds like he is right here, ready to go. So, yep, there he is. That confirms that he's here. I'm going to run out the steps. Can't fight, huh? Well, I guess that kind of sucks. Alright, going back outside. Get ready for that final encounter. Now, if you think back to the last time we fought this guy, it was kind of tricky. We had to put wall rings on and stuff, right? Well, thankfully, because we did all of that power leveling last time, we don't have to worry about doing any cheap trickery shenanigans, although we could if we wanted to. So, no wall rings necessary. We're just going to go straight on power blitz attacking here. And one thing I will point out, there's actually another part to this battle. Yes, we're not quite done by getting all the necessary damage on him. So, certainly hit him hard. And check out this bum rush now. 5,200 damage with a single bum rush blitz. That is getting ridiculous. Not to mention, oh yeah, Maw can just do a sunbath for, what, 900 HP apiece, basically, for healing, without using a single bit of MP. That's kind of nice. Alright, so we get him down to the end point here, and he's going to use a spell called Baba Breath, which will randomly take 2 party members out of the battle, and unfortunately, he knocked our 2 most powerful characters out, which kind of sucks, but oh, check this out. Terra, all of a sudden you remembered how to fight. Good thing, too, we could definitely use you. Alright, so Terra will join the battle now, it seems, and we're going to fight Fun Baba for the absolute final and 4th last damn time. Okay, now, as we know, we don't have Sabin's Bum Rush skill, and we don't have, Edgar available for his offering attack 4 times. But it's okay. We can still continue to use Mog for his Sunbath, and we can use the other 2 to dish out the punishment, or we could take the cheap and easy way out. And because this is a no-death run, that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, let's find the spells. There's the Vanish. And here comes the X Zone. I have to say, I really wish I could make this more entertaining sometimes, but at the end of the day, there's only one thing that matters, and that is coming out as the winner and beating this pro challenge. So far, after 13, 14 hours of play, We managed to do just that, and I have no intentions of failing just now. Okay, so Fun Baba is finally gone. We cast him into the void. There is no way he is coming back this time. So at this point, Terra, we're going to see a little cutscene sped up, obviously. And Terra's basically telling all of her friends and her adopted children that she has to go out and fight, and she's going to go take down Kefka, yada, 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 all that great stuff, right? Going back to war with the family, right? Fantastic. We finally got her back in the party. Now, the only thing that sucks about getting Terra back right now, yes, of course, you know, it's great. She levels up with the rest of the party. That's great. But she didn't really learn any additional spells while she was gone. So we're going to have to take time, most likely offline, once again, to power level her and get her magic skills up to snuff. So clearly, I'll tell you right now, we're not going to do that during this portion of the video. But during part 20, whenever that comes up next, we will do even more offline power leveling with Terra to get her magic up to snuff. Alright, so for right now, we're going to form a 4-person party. We're going to get the usual quadruplet here. We're going to get Sabin, Edgar, Celeste, and Mog. Eventually, Celeste will be replaced with Terra once we get her magic skills up there. But for right now, this is more than sufficient. All the other characters I have no interest in touching right now, because really, we don't have to use them ever again until Kefka's Tower, the final dungeon, and that's at the very end, of course. So for right now, we're going to go back up, we're going to lift off, and we're going to continue on with the next part of the game. So we've got Terra back, and I mentioned there are 2 other characters that we're going to obtain. Well, the first one we're going to find is in this cave on the Veldt. Now, think about who's left to obtain. Who could we possibly get that we have not gotten back yet? Well, you might be thinking Gaw, right? Because this is the Veldt. Well, we already got him. So who else could it possibly be? Those of you who have never played this game before. Well, here's a big hint. Ooh, check that out. Could that possibly be Interceptor? Yeah, take a good guess. Alright, so we're going to walk around for a little bit. Now, you may not have noticed this, maybe you did, but we have Mog in the party, and we do have the Moogle Charm equipped. Now, for this point in the game, you don't need the charm equipped. We can definitely handle the monsters in this cave, no problem. But I'm keeping it on for the sake of being able to breeze through this cave for time purposes. Now, right there we picked up the Rage Ring, the Rage Relic. That is useful only on Umero, and as I said, unfortunately, that is a worthless character to us, so it's a worthless relic. There it is. Where to go? It's in here somewhere. It's got to be up toward the top, I bet. There it is, right down there. Equip on Sasquatch and watch him take a dump for all I care. Because we're never going to use him again. Alright. Moving on up through the cave. Down and around. Now, there's a few things here. There is a optional monster in a box chest right here. And I'll tell you what, if and when you defeat this boss, you're going to get an amazing weapon here. It's called the Aloe Vera. Aloe Vera? Like aloe vera lotion? I don't know. He's going to use Condemned, and he will continually try to use Condemned and Doom throughout the entirety of the fight. And if you're not lucky enough, he can outright kill the entire party here. So, Vanish and X Zone are amazing. Use them whenever you can, immediately to prevent insta-death. That's what we did. And check this out, we win. Tiger Fangs, that is the weapon that we just won. It is one of, if not the best weapons in the entire game for Sabin. Check that out. Battle power up to 241. When you consider that the ultimate offensive stat is 255, we are rapidly approaching that stat. So we're basically there right now at 241 for the Tiger Fangs. Oh, by the way, they are amazing weapons to use. And wait till you see them in action. Yeah, it's mostly a color palette swap of the other Fangs, but still. Alright, so we're going to hit that switch. It's going to open that rock formation up there. You can choose to walk through, go through the door. And we're going to slowly get to the end here. Now, I encourage you not to do this because there is a chest that we skipped. And because we skipped it, we weren't thinking we will come back for it. So don't go this way just yet. Take the other route first. Get the chest down below, then come around here. And oh, yes, look at this. There's Interceptor and Shadow. So, Shadow is still alive, although it looks like he's been wounded pretty bad. Whoa, what's this? There's an enemy. He's about to jump us from behind. Looks like we're going to have to defend ourselves here. Alright, so this is called the Senior Behemoth, or as we like to call it, the Behemoth King. Now it says X2. What's that all about? We're about to find out in just a minute. So, the Behemoth King looks rough and tough, and certainly he hits pretty hard. So do take him seriously, but it's nothing that we can't handle right now because with the levels that we have, he will drop pretty dang fast. Use the Bum Rush, use Mog, get the Sunbath ready. And honestly, the really nice thing about this, if you use Edgar, or really anybody who's able to equip the Offering and the Scimitar, there is a very high probability that you can just insta-kill the boss. And in fact, I think that is something that you will see. Unfortunately, we have Celeste in our party. She used the Runic Blade, and she was able to absorb the Ice 3 magic spell. She is a very good character to have in this battle for that reason. So I encourage you, constantly use the Runic Blade before the Behemoth King goes off. Now, I don't think we're going to get an insta-kill on this one, but we will take him down here again with this next Bum Rush attack. Man, we're doing nearly 6,000 damage apiece with the Bum Rush, which is amazing. Boom, down he goes. Is that the end? No, enemy coming from behind. We've never seen this mechanic in a fight before. So we go from having a front attack to being back attacked here by another Behemoth King. It's not really that big of a deal. So we're going to continue doing what we do, and we're going to watch what happens when Edgar gets the attack in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Insta-kill! Yes, on a boss! You will rarely ever see that happen, but it just happened here. That is awesome. Now, we just got the Behemoth suit, and I will tell you, that's an interesting piece of armor that you can use, but it's actually outdated compared to what we have right now. Now, you noticed how in that text there it said, let's take her back? We can't do anything for her here? Well, interesting note. The reason that happens is because the game was not programmed correctly, and it suspects that it thinks you're going to get Realm right here. We'll talk more about that in a second. Lots of stuff happening here. So this is a memory cutscene of Shadow when he was younger, before he turned into the ultimate ninja that you see here. So that was the cutscene dream sequence that you saw there. But anyway, going back to the issue of talking about her when it was Shadow, right? So the predicament is, if you think back to the World of Balance, and yes, I know, we don't have the World of Balance Floating Continent ending. Don't remind me about it again. But if you think back to it, if you're on the Floating Continent and you opt not to save Shadow, he dies, and you cannot use him ever again. Instead, in place of Shadow, you will find Realm there, and it makes much more sense to have Realm and her, right? Well, the game didn't really, the developers and programmers didn't really anticipate and program it correctly for both scenarios, so anyway, that's why you're seeing her both times. Alright, now the reason we're going back to this cave is because we have to go down to where we flick that switch and go on south this time and get the treasure chest down here. Now, why do we have to get it? You're going to see very shortly right after. So here's the chest. It's called Striker. Now, that Striker is a dagger, sword, katana, whatever you want to call it, and you must obtain it if you ever want to use Shadow in your party again. So, I'm going to show you why. That's the first part. Go down, get the Striker, or just be smart and get it the first time, then you don't have to come back into the cave once again like I did. Now, once you get it, you're going to head over to the northwest where the Colosseum is. Remember, we showed you this in the last part of the challenge, I believe. We're going to go in here. We're going to actually go in, do a fight this time, but we're going to offer up the Striker Katana Blade that we got from that chest. And oh, check this out. Shadow is the enemy. But guess what? It doesn't matter. Anything that you do against Shadow will almost instantly kill him. I think he has like 10 HP. I'm saying that jokingly, of course. But down he goes. We got the Striker. So basically, we wagered a Striker. We got the Striker back. But what did we really win? Well, as you're about to see here from the story, we won Shadow's companionship. He is now back in our party once again. Awesome. So we got 2 characters, right? We said we're getting 3. So what's the third one? Let's find out. Now, I will point out that if you really wanted to, that's a good opportunity to just stick around the Colosseum and try to get some nice little weapons there that you couldn't normally get otherwise. I tend not to do that until much later in the game because some of those enemies are pretty damn cheap, so we'll do that much later. Alright, so, a couple things we're going to show you. This right here is the Fanatic's Tower. We could go there, and there is another character we can achieve. We could go here. This is Doma Castle, and that's where we can get Cyan's sword tech skills all the way up to where they need to be. Right here, though, the Phoenix Cave, we've kind of tinkered around with this a couple times. We are going to finally go in there for real because I think we have all the right stats, all the right characters, and all the right relics. So, 2 things you got to do. You got to form 2 parties. One of them is going to be purely Mog by himself with the Moogle Charm. The other group is your power party. The normal 4 you would normally always take, so get them ready to go. You could bring Shadow if he was properly leveled. He's a very popular, very powerful hitter. We all know that. But we're not going to do that because we have not had a chance to power level him yet. So we're going to use the 4 we would normally use, and we are going to do just that. And because we can't use Mog in our power party, we're going to put Terra in there. And I think that she'll serve well for the time being, even though she doesn't have all the magic spells we would like. So we'll take a moment to get her equipped properly. Give her some good relics. It's probably a good time to do that. Let's see what we want to give her right here. Before we do that, though, let's head in and let's see. Are we going to step here? Yes, we will. Alright, and I think we got everything we need except for Terra, of course. Now, what are we going to give her? Let's see what we have available. A couple things. Back guard is also very nice, and the ribbon. Ribbons are critical here, and we'll talk about why. Now, I mentioned there are some enemies in this dungeon that will inflict the stop status. Now, I told you it's critical for ribbons to stop the stop status, if that makes any sense. Well, I misspoke, and I apologize for that. But the ribbon is not totally useless. It can be used to stop other ailments, such as poison and slow and things of that nature. So, the ribbon definitely has a purpose, just not the one that I originally mentioned way back when. So, anyway, moving on. I think we're finally ready to go here. We're going to step in here, and we're going to switch back to Mog, and Mog will be the one that does a good brunt of the work for us. We want to make sure that he has the sprint shoes on and the Moogle charm. He's not going to really take major damage, although he could when he steps over those spikes, and whoops. So even though he will take damage from time to time, it can always be cured up, no big deal. So, his main point is to flip switches and collect treasures that the other party normally couldn't. And we are going to do that very well here. So, flip the switch, Wing Edge. Now, I think we've already got a Wing Edge, if I'm not mistaken. So, we already know that's for Locke. Step over the spikes here. You can sell the second one if you really don't want it. And I think that's a good thing to do. And we're going to move on down and around. There's a switch right here that basically opens up the spikes. It's not really necessary, though. You can always heal afterwards. So go back over the spikes. Go down here, flip the switch. And we're going to go back to our main party, Power Party. Now, you could hit that switch, but again, that's not really necessary. I don't care. Alright, here's that stupid phase enemy that can flick stop. And it really sucks because you can't run away from these things. So that's one character hit with stop. Can't do anything. So we're just going to hit him hard now. And there goes 2 characters hit with stop, and there are 2 most powerful physical fighters. So, hit these things hard and fast before they can inflict stop on you. Blowfish absolutely sucks. Yes, I know it's 1,000 damage, and that's why power leveling is very, very critical. If you have any characters that are under 1,000, it's an insta-death. So, clearly you could see there's a reason we saved this dungeon for quite a while later. So we will finally take this stupid thing down after one more hit. Hopefully our 2 power hitters will wake up, but if they don't, thankfully Terra was just strong enough to take him out here. And that's some pretty decent GP and experience to earn here. Definitely take a moment between every fight to make sure that everybody is healed up to full, and you saw that we had ribbons equipped on some of those characters, and it didn't matter. The stop hit them anyway. Alright, now we could go down here, but before we do that, we're going to go up. Again, make sure everyone is fully cured. I believe that there was another treasure chest up here. Going to go ahead and obtain it. Yes, there is. Oh, it's empty. Well, that was kind of pointless. Alright. Well, let's go down. Once again, cure everybody up. Now, if you took the time to have Mog flip those switches, that wouldn't be necessary, but it's not a big deal. A couple more fights here. Thankfully, there's no more smirk enemies here. And you can run from these fights, but there's really not that big of a reason to, because they're not that difficult. The only major problem is that some of these enemies can inflict poison, and while that certainly sucks, it's nothing that you can't heal or cure. So, do what you gotta do, run if you must, but I think at the levels we're at, we can definitely fight these things and take them down fairly simply. All of these chests are empty. What in the world's going on here? We're gonna have some more sea flower enemies. Okay, let's go ahead and take them down with some powerful level 3 magic spells here. Now, you saw Ice 3. You haven't seen Fire 3 yet. Here comes Fire 3. Check this out. Boom. 5 meteor blasts. Whoops. Well, that wasn't the right thing to use, so Fire clearly, obviously didn't work. So let's try Ice 3. We've already seen Ice 3 a couple times. We'll show you Bolt 3 just a little bit, too. Ice 3 is an awesome spell. Looks like a glacier falling down on the enemies here. Ooh, yeah. Wow, that still didn't kill them. That's nearly 4,000 damage apiece. It still didn't take them out. Dang, I gotta love that scimitar attack. Alright, down he goes. Earning some nice experience and treasure and rewards here. Moving around, and we're stuck at a dead end. That means we're gonna have to switch back to Mog. We'll switch back to him, and thankfully we're not gonna have any random encounters here. But I encourage you not to stop there just yet, because there are some switches that you have to hit. So we'll do a couple more random encounters. Trickster, we haven't seen this thing yet, and again, you can fight him if you want to, but no real need if you don't want to. If it's a preemptive attack, it's a guaranteed success rate to run away. So we'll go over here. We have another chest we can open, but oops, empty once again. And you gotta wonder what in the heck is going on here. Is that on purpose or intentional or not? What exactly happened here? Well, consider that for just a moment while we go over and hit this switch. Oops, we got one more fight before hitting that switch. They really want us to get some experience here, right? Well, I really don't feel like it right now. I feel like running away. Run, 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 run. Come on, Celeste, get out of there. Stop running in place. And you can see why it might be beneficial to run. That bio spell is always nasty no matter what level you're at. So we're going to go ahead and do one final heal and cure and antidote. I think we're finally good here. And you might notice the W wind spell. We have a couple characters that have learned it, and some people in the comments of the last video mentioned that it might mean whirlwind, and I would actually 100% agree with you, because I know in future versions of Final Fantasy, that spell is referred to as tornado, and I think that definitely makes sense, so I'm going to go with whirlwind. And again, you'll never see me use that spell because it hits every character on the screen, so it's kind of a pointless attack. Alright, now we got Mog back again. That opened up some rocks here, and we're just going to hop right across them. Always nice to have that Moogle Charm equipped. We could open that chest. We do, and we get hit, and for no reason at all. Alright, now we hit one more switch. That's going to open up this pathway forward. We can go back to our other party. And as we switch on back, we're going to just do a little bit of backtracking. Backtrack, backtrack, backtrack. A few more fights. A few more instant kills. A few more runaways. Doesn't really matter. We'll catch up with you when we get to the part where we need to be. Okay, we come out of hyperdrive there, and we've got a few more fights that we've already seen quite a few times there. And again, like I've said quite a few times, you have the option to fight them or run from them. Honestly, me running at this point really doesn't serve that much of a purpose. I could easily take them down if I really wanted to, but for the sake of getting through this video, that's the big reason why I'm skipping through and just running away. Alright, now we're going to go down, hit this switch, let Mog go up, and he's going to have a switch that he's going to hit, I believe. Right over here. Now, that's an optional switch. It kind of deprives us of getting damaged. There's a save point. Use it if you need to. Use a tent if you need to. You do need to stand on that switch to allow the party to go through. So, hit that second switch over there. Go ahead, move through the spikes, take all the damage. Not a big deal. Heal yourself after getting through. That's exactly what we're going to do right here. There we go. Heal on through. I think we're just about ready to go now. Going to keep on moving on down through the steps. Gonna have one more set of stones to jump over this time. We got some more chests, probably empty for all we know. Hopping down and around, hop, 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 hopscotch. Doesn't really matter which set of stones you take, you're gonna take them both eventually. Fight them or run? Well, 100% chance of fleeing. Let's run. Why not? Alright, let's take a look and see what we got. Take the far side. Well, we could go back and get that chest. Chances are it's probably empty. Bet you anything it is. Yep. And we check it anyway. Okay, going up and around. Go up the steps. What do we got in here? Ooh, there's a switch we can hit. And that switch is going to drain the water and allow us to go down through this section. And because Mog hit that switch, ooh, it's not all it did. It actually extinguished the fire lava for us. So now we can go back there, or rather, I guess Mog or somebody can go in there and potentially claim one of the chests. So let's go back down and around. And it looks like there's nothing we can do here because all we can do is hop on the rocks. We can't go down into that lava pit, which probably tells me that we have to go further into the cave, or maybe that's a section that only Mog can get to, huh? Well, we will find out in just a little bit. After we take down these enemies, they should go down fairly. Wow, 6,200 damage on a single bum rush. I cannot wait for the moment that we finally get 9999 on a single attack, because I don't know when it's coming, but you can see how fast we're power leveling and how fast those stats and those attacks are rising. It ain't that far off, guys. It's going to happen sooner or later. We are going to hit 9999. Edgar gaining levels here. Oh, by the way, since we're talking about levels and stats and stuff, you obviously notice that Sabin's health is far higher than anybody else on the team, right? Well, that's mainly because we equipped the experience egg on him a long time ago at first, and he was earning levels earlier than anybody else, or sooner than anybody else, as soon as we equipped that. So we are trying to get the other party members caught up as soon as we can. Oh, by the way, here's another dragon down here. Yeah, make sure, if you're going to fight this dragon, get everybody back up to full speed. Clearly we've done that. Now, what dragon is this? It's a red one, and very creatively named. It's a red dragon. All right. Now, as you might expect with a red dragon that shoots fire just like that, it's weak to ice and water. Clearly it is. We could fight it the traditional way. We're certainly strong enough to take it down without much fear. But again, in a no-death run, why would you want to? Do what you gotta do. If you don't know what to do at this point, I got nothing to say to you. Vanish. X-Zone. I wish I could say I was sorry. No. 10 magic points and the Strato. Now, what is that? The Strato. That, if I recall correctly, is a sword or a katana that only Cyan can use. It's been a while, but I believe that that is a Cyan weapon. And because we're not using Cyan right now, it doesn't make much of a difference, but that is a weapon that we will look at a little bit later. Now, we picked up the Dragon Horn. It makes jump continuous. So, if I'm not mistaken, again, I don't typically use that relic very often, but it will continuously inflict a Berserk status where you will always jump every single time. Again, I could be wrong on that, but that's my recollection of the relic and how it works. Alright, so we got what we needed from down there. 4 dragons left to go. We're halfway to getting the prize for killing all 8 dragons. And what is the prize for killing all 8 dragons, you might wonder? Trust me, it's worth it. It is worth it. But unfortunately, we won't get that prize until we hit Kefka's final dungeon tower. And we will get there pretty soon. Alright, go ahead, keep moving on through. Take these enemies down. They are starting to get a little bit tougher here. These Trickster and Necromancers. Keep on hitting them. Keep on hitting them hard. And you noticed here, if you think back a few seconds ago, there was a section with 2 switches side by side, which means we will have both parties side by side here momentarily. Terra, Sabin, everyone's gaining levels. It's awesome. I love watching people gain levels and getting stronger and stronger. And because Terra is further behind, she's going to gain levels quicker than anybody else. Alright, and there's a switch up here. We have to hit that one. That's a switch that will enable a couple of rocks to appear to let Mog get over to where we need him to be. Now, we can't go down there. He's going to come up here around the steps. Down through these steps. He's going to go down into the old lava pit, lava field. Now, you could go that way, but go down here. Get this chest. What's inside? Ooh, ribbons. Those are never going out of style anytime soon. That's our 3rd ribbon, if I'm not mistaken. So 1 more, and we can equip that on every single party member and make them immune to any, well, almost any status ailment in the whole game. So that is amazing to have. All right, put both of your parties down here. Step on both switches, and it's really up to you at this point. I'm going to send Mog down here. I can tell you it's safe to send him because there are no more boss fights down here. Now, there is a save point, or at least that's what it looks like, right? We're not going to worry about that right now. We're going to go here. There's Locke. And yep, what's going on here? Is he safe? Yes, of course he's safe. All right, now, what did he get? He got an Esper out of there, or at least a piece of Magicite. Now, what exactly is it? What's it called? What does it do? We'll find out in just a little bit here. So we got a pretty lengthy cutscene. We're going to go all the way back to the town of Kolingen. Remember Rachel? Well, he was talking about possibly bringing her back or saving her, rescuing her, whatever. So Phoenix, as you may know, Phoenix down, think about what it does. It brings people back to life, and that's exactly what happened here, right? Now, unfortunately, it is a brief revive. It's not going to be a permanent one. So if you want to go ahead and read through the story, have at it. But basically, Rachel says, thank you for bringing me back, all this great stuff. We lost the Phoenix Esper, or did we? Nope. It is now being infused and given back. So now, Locke has obtained the Phoenix Esper after a pretty sad, lengthy cutscene here. Now think about Phoenix, think about what it does. You can imagine. We will look at the Phoenix Esper very briefly from now, a little bit later in this video, and if we don't, we'll look at it certainly in the next one. So, all those chests we encountered earlier in the cave that were empty, Locke is showing us everything that he already got out of those chests. And really, at this point in the game, all those treasures, they really aren't anything that we could really care much about. But we got them. They're good to sell off if we really want to. So, let's take a look here. Locke moving back to the front line. Although, honestly, if you think about it, I'm going to do a couple things here. You notice how all of the magic spells, they were the same old stuff that he had the last time. We're going to equip a whole bunch of great stuff on him, and because the wing edge is a back row item, or a back row weapon, we can put Locke in the back row once again. And I think we're not going to look at Phoenix right now, so we'll do that in the next video. But I can tell you right now, it's mainly curative and reviving spells. So, we got 3 characters back, right? That's awesome. We've got pretty much everything we need for this part of the video. We're basically out of time right now, but we're going to prep and set up for the next part. So, for the next portion of the video, we're going to focus on Doma Castle and getting Cyan and his sword tech skills up to where they need to be. And then we can possibly look at maybe going to Kefka's Tower. But that's for the next part of the video. So right now we're going to save. Thanks for watching as always, and we will see you in part 20. Take care.